Mr. Gunn?
That's right. Mr. Quimby?
Yes. I'm in terrible trouble.
Yes. You sounded that way when you phoned.
When I came out the store this morning, our night watchman was missing.
Oh?
And also about $50,000 in unset gems.
Have you called the police?
No.
Why not?
Well, those jewels were under consignment to the store. I was in hopes that you could recover them so I wouldn't have to make an accounting to the owner.
Who's the owner?
Mr. Philip Lasdown. He's a very eccentric collector. He always got a lot of things on display in this. He's a very good customer, though.
Aren't you insured?
Well, naturally. But if Mr. Lasdown knew a robbery had taken place, well, he'd never do business in my establishment again.
Do you think the night watchman was responsible for the theft?
I just don't know what the... The jewels are gone, and so is he.
What's his name?
It's Block. Arthur Block. He lives in the east side in the park. I've already checked with his landlady, but he hasn't returned.
Quimby?
Gracious, it's Mr. Lasdown. Yes, Mr. Lasdown. Good evening, Mr. Lasdown.
Enough of your vulgarism, sir. It's a perfectly wretched evening, as you very well know.
Yes, it is, at that. Mr. Gunn, this is...
Philip J. Lasdown. How do you do, sir?
How do you do?
Quimby, I've come for my Buddha.
You've come for your book? Oh, no.
You've had it quite long enough. Where is it?
But, Mr. Lasdown, I have someone who's interested in it.
I've decided not to sell it.
Not to sell it?
Oh, come, Quimby. Where is it?
I put it right over there temporarily.
In the back room.
But only temporarily.
It is not enough that I suffer the torment of lending my exquisite statuary to a firm that employs a Philistine as a manager.
But Mr.
No, I am now subjected to the ignominy of having it secreted behind a variety of bric-a-brac one would expect to find only in the men's lounge at Coney Island.
But Mr.
Quimby, I am repossessing my Buddha forthwith. For years, I have forced myself to deal with you in a patient and forbearing manner. Never again. This is the crowning blow. Far be it from Philip Lasdown to cast pearls before swine.
Oh, that man, that terrifying man.
Creates sort of a deadline, doesn't he?
What's that? Oh, yes. Oh, an immediate accounting. Probably in the morning.
Well, if I haven't found the night watchman of the jewels by morning, you'll have to call in the police.
Oh, yes.
In the meantime, Mr. Quimby, keep a good thought. I'll do everything I can. Oh.
Yeah?
Does Arthur Block live here?
Not here, doll. Across the hall.
What room?
A B, but he ain't in now. He ain't been in since yesterday afternoon when he left for work.
Well, may I see his room?
Well, I don't know, Blue Eyes. It's against the rules.
Oh, my goodness. I dropped $5.
Oh, my goodness, so you did. Don't strain your back picking it up. Touch your rheumatism.
I'm sorry.
Well, now I can get me some medicine. You keep on waving them things around, and I'll show you every room in the joint.
Just B.
You're the second guy who's been looking for Block today. Kill somebody?
I wouldn't know.
You ain't a cop.
No,
Private dick?
just a private.
Here we are, handsome.
Thanks. What do you know about... What do you know about Philip Lasdown?
Never heard of him.
Collector of rare art objects and nasty disposition.
Never heard of him. Come on.
How about a night watchman named Arthur Block?
What about Arthur Block?
Oh, it's like I hit a nerve.
What about Arthur Block?
For some reason, I have a strange feeling you know quite a bit about Mr. Block already.
Pete.
Somebody kill him?
Why would anybody want to do a thing like that?
Because your beady little eyes speak volumes, Lieutenant.
You gonna tell me?
Yeah,
All of it?
that depends.
On how much I tell you?
That and my client's confidence.
Jacoby. Be right down. You want to see Mr. Block?
Sure.
Come with me.
Where?
The morgue.
Dead about 4 hours.
10:15.
Killed sometime around 6.
The slug I took, Alan, is like nothing I've ever seen. I sent it up to ballistics.
Let's take a look at it.
Almost like a ball.
This'll interest you. That slug was fired from a weapon made in 1837 by Samuel Colt. He patented it in Europe in 1835 and in the U.S. in 1836.
Oh.
What does the gun look like?
Well, it was a forerunner, the Colt 44. Give me that book there. It had a single barrel with a revolving breech, carried 6 slugs. During the Fieschi conspiracy in France in 1835, Fieschi had a rifle made like it, tried to assassinate Louis Philippe.
Okay, Louis. Drop the gun. Webby didn't call the police because he was afraid the publicity might scare off Mr. Lasdown. I've got a hunch it was a lot more than that.
What about Lasdown?
No, he's a beaut. And obviously Mr. Quimby's biggest customer.
I think I'll go and have a talk with Mr. Quimby.
I'll give him a call and tell him you're coming over. But look, keep it as quiet as you can. We might just get lucky and recover the jewels before Lasdown has a chance to demand an accounting. If Lasdown doesn't know there's been a robbery, he might cool down a little bit and give the poor little guy back his business.
Sure.
Mr. Quimby?
Yes. Oh, Mr. Gunn. The police.
This is a lot more than just a robbery now, Mr. Quimby. They found Arthur Block. He's been murdered. Mr. Quimby? Mr. Quimby? You better take along some smelling salts.
You're kidding.
No, he's the type.
What are you gonna do?
I think I'll pay Mr. Philip Lasdown a little visit.
Well, keep in touch.
Yeah.
Now! Now! Will you kindly answer that bell? Oh, all right, all right. A little patience, please. I do not don't read pick, look, see, quick, or popular mechanics. I refuse to endorse a petition. I abhor pressure cookers, stainless steel cutlery, reconditioned vacuum cleaners, break out in a rash at the mere mention of any aftershave lotion. And as far as a free excursion to the Bahamas with all expenses paid, I couldn't be less interested. Now, if you will kindly remove your person from my property. I'm warning you, sir.
I met you this evening at the Far East Importing Company.
I remember you. Will you kindly remove your foot?
I'd be happy to, if you'll just answer a few questions.
Who are you, sir? I mean, what is your occupation?
Wouldn't you be surprised if I were a policeman?
A policeman? How earthy. Well, what do you want?
How many things do you have on consignment at the Far East Importing Company?
I have many things on consignment there. Or I had. I intend to remove them in the morning.
Anything of extreme value?
My dear sir, I own nothing that could not be considered of extreme value. Approximately $50,000 in rare gems, a dozen priceless antiques. As a matter of fact, that Buddha, which that scoundrel Quimby was hiding in the corner, was my most priceless possession. Aside from its ancient ancestry, the protrusion on the forehead is a perfect pigeon blood ruby, approximately 50 carats. Now, is there anything else? I'm sure your foot must be going to sleep.
You ever heard of a man by the name of Arthur Block?
Never.
He was Quimby's night watchman.
Sir, our conversation is at an end. I find your reference to my association with the night watchman the lowest form of discourse. Now, good night. Now, you heard that bell. Why didn't you answer the door?
我喺裏邊燙緊你啲衫，我聽唔見到門響啊，真係唔好意思啦。
That's no excuse.
真唔該你第二回見諒一下啊。
Hey, Bud.
I do not read look, pick, click, or popular mechanics.
So who's taking the census? I just want to know if a party named Lasdown lives here.
Well, I wouldn't call him exactly a party. He's more like a street fight.
He lives here?
He does.
Good. I hope his luggage is ready.
Hey.
Who do you want killed?
What do you want with Lasdown?
Just here to pick up some luggage.
And delivered it where?
To the airport.
What flight?
11.
Look, you didn't tell me a thing.
I didn't even see it.
And let me drive off before you ring the bell, huh?
Take your time, pal. Take your time.
This is JP 34295. Would you get me Midway 86561, please?
Hello.
Hello, Jacoby. Is Quimby all right?
He isn't here. The door was unlocked, the store was dark. I checked his apartment upstairs. No sign of him.
Well, look. Lasdown's taking a trip. Flight 11. The luggage company just picked up his bags. And he told me that he's planning to move his merchandise from Quimby's in the morning.
Flight 11 leaves at midnight.
That's right. So something doesn't add up. Why don't you come on out here and see if your shiny little badge shakes him up?
Don't speak disparagingly of my shiny little badge. It goes well with my beady little eyes.
I'm at the corner of Elm and Westgate. If he leaves for the airport before you get here, he'll have to pass right by me. I'll meet you at the airport.
Young man.
Thanks.
Be careful with them.
What's going on?
What do you mean?
I just got a report at 211, and guess who called it in? Philip Lasdown.
A fine state of affairs. It's getting so that a man isn't safer than his own home. What's this city coming to? A police force that is obviously second only to the Boy Scouts.
Calm down, Mr. Lasdown.
Calm down? I have no intention of calming down. How would you enjoy walking into your own living room and there, slinking around in the dark, a pathological fiend intent on robbing you of your most priceless possession?
The Buddha?
Well, of course, the Buddha. Had I not walked in at that precise moment, he would probably be carrying it piggyback through the center of town, while your observing police force would undoubtedly have stopped traffic for him.
Where were you when all this happened?
我喺裏頭瞓緊啊！我聽唔見道門響，真係唔好意思啦。
Mao doesn't speak a word of English. Anyway, he was snoring in bed at the time. Well, suspecting my manservant is the best you can do, really.
All right, Mr. Lasdown. Were you going to take that Buddha with you on Flight 11?
The fact that I am flying to New York on business is no concern of yours, Sergeant.
It is if you're the #1 suspect in a killing.
I beg your pardon?
Mr. Lasdown, do you own any guns?
Sir, I do not collect weapons of any sort. No, I demand to know what you mean when you imply that I am a suspect in a killing.
The night watchman in Quimby's store was shot to death.
That night watchman again. My dear Sergeant, for me to associate with a night watchman is stretching the bonds of probability too far.
Are you sure the thief was after the Buddha?
Positive. He'd moved it halfway across the room before I surprised him.
Doesn't make sense a thief would go to all that trouble. If it were me, I would just pry out the ruby.
Keep your hands to yourself, sir.
Valuable?
About 50 carats worth. Looks like it would pop right out. Which brings up another point. If the night watchman did steal those jewels from Quimby's safe...
Steal what jewels?
Why didn't he steal the ruby from the Buddha?
My jewels? Were they my jewels?
Oh, shut up.
What?
He said shut up.
I think the potential thief wanted the Buddha for something else. Is there anything else about the Buddha besides the ruby?
Oh, I told you before, it's very rare.
Aside from that, could you hide anything in it? Sounds hollow.
It is hollow. By pressing that ruby, the entire base swings open. Wealthy families used to place their valuables inside for protection.
Show us.
Good grief. A gun.
Yours?
Certainly not.
Didn't know it was there, huh?
No. And it was not in that Buddha when I consigned it to that little rodent, Quimby. Sergeant.
Lieutenant.
Congratulations. I demand to know if the jewels stolen from the Far East Importing Company were...
They were yours.
That deceitful little pipsqueak. After all the business I've given him, I shall personally take extreme delight in exposing him as a discredit to his profession. Excuse me.
Where does he think he's going?
Let him go.
He's a suspect.
You want the killer?
Yeah.
I have a hunch he'll dump him right in your lap. All you have to do is give Lasdown his head.
I'd love to. On a platter.
唔該，先生見諒啫啦。第二，我快脆啲開門啊！
You miserable little wretch! How dare you? How dare you?
Please, Mr. Lansdowne, the neighbors.
I assure you, the neighbors will be only the first to hear of this atrocity.
But it was black.
Who put that gun in my Buddha?
Oh, you found it?
Well, of course I... You knew it was there.
No, I don't know anything
Liar,
about it.
the police found it when...
Police?
He was going to shoot me.
Call an ambulance.
Me?
No, it's all right. It's just in the leg. Hello, Mr. Gunn.
Hello, Mr. Quimby.
I might as well confess. I shot poor Mr. Block. He came to work early, and he surprised me, stealing the jewels. And he wanted me to split with him, and he threatened to expose me, too. I shot him, and then I hid the gun in the Buddha.
And you broke into Lasdown's house tonight and tried to get the gun, huh?
Yes.
Unfortunately, the ambulance is on its way.